Tonight's big stories. Rescuers race against time to dig up possible survivors from the landslide in Maco, Davao de Oro. Death toll has gone up to 10, with dozens still missing. We'll get updates from our reporter on the ground.
The DepEd revealed in a recent Senate hearing that only one public school out of 21 that participated in the 2022 program for International Student Assessment or PISA scored above the minimum proficiency level. What does this say about the state of our public school system? We'll get some insights from Philippine Business for Education's Dianne Fajardo.
And just how important is financial compatibility in a relationship? We'll be asking that question and more to financial guru Vince Rapisura, who will be joining us here later on.
Welcome to the big story. I'm Gretchen Ho.
I'm Angela Lagunzad Castro.
And I'm Sean Yao.
Let's circle back to the big story yesterday with more updates. The death toll in the landslide that hit the town of Maco in Davao de Oro has risen to 10.
Rescuers are still searching for dozens of missing individuals buried or feared buried in tons of earth.
Let's get some more updates from Mon Gualvez, who will be joining us live from Barangay Masara in Maco, Davao de Oro. Mon, hi. What's the latest from Maco?
Gretchen, Sean, Angela, the search, rescue, and retrieval operations in the massive landslide here in Maco, Davao de Oro remains difficult, and we have witnessed the extreme operations being handled by the rescuers a while ago in an exclusive entry on the said ground zero.
Non-stop digging and responders working double time to exhume possible landslide survivors. This is the scene in Barangay Masara in Maco, Davao de Oro. Rescuers race against time to dig up victims. However, they have not been so lucky, with only lifeless bodies recovered. Death toll in Maco has gone up to 10, while over 30 people were injured. 49 people remain missing. Aside from the lives lost, the landslide also dealt severe damage to several houses and properties. Even their barangay hall was not spared. What makes the rescue operations even more difficult are sudden incidents of landslide in the area. This is the third recorded massive landslide incident in the area since 2007 and 2008. So if the area is landslide prone, why exactly are people choosing to stay there?
Parang dead issue na ito kasi wala nang dapat tao. Ibig sabihin, in terms of assessment, tapos na. It has been done many years ago because of the previous incidents. Ang mga tao, pupunta pa din dyan kasi yun na yung nearest area to the mining site where sila nakapaghanap buhay.
Gretchen, Sean, Angela, some NBI personnel are also in the area to help identify the bodies. The Maco LGU has also promised to assist the families affected and also those who have lost their loved ones. Aside from that, residents in Barangay Masara and also the nearby villages were being evacuated to schools that are 5 to 6 kilometers away from the ground zero. Gretchen, Sean, Angela.
Mon, paint us a picture of how massive this landslide is. How does it compare to the ones that hit back in 2007 and 2008?
Well, actually, the massive landslide that happened this last Tuesday, it is actually composed of mounds of soil, rocks, and fallen trees that were taller than people, taller than buses, and even taller than 5-story buildings. At if we're going to compare it with 2007, ang initial or ang mga nasa report that time was nasa around 10 people have died, while in 2008 around 24 or more than 20 people were reported dead, aside dun sa mga missing pa. And currently dito sa incident naman sa may Maco, Davao de Oro pa rin, in which is sa Barangay Masara, nasa around 10 na yung reported death dead. At the same time, 31 yung injured habang 49 naman yung missing. Yung number of missing, yung pinaka-highlight dito dahil mas malaki yung bilang niya compared with the years na nangyari na nga rin yung landslide dito sa area. Gretchen.
Alright, hi Mon, si Shonto, no? Ano ang alam natin today na bagong development? Kung ikukumpara natin sa kahapon, can you tell us if we have a clearer picture, no? Kung ilan ba yung nawawala, ilan ba yung natabunan na hindi natin alam yesterday? At ano na yung kondisyon ng dalawang bus? Nasilayan na ba ng mga rescuers o naantala ng further landslides today?
Yes, the two buses and actually another jeepney have been recovered already. No, dito kanina, isa yan sa mga naging development ng ginawa nilang pagpapatuloy ng search, rescue and retrieval operations na kuha na mula sa ilalim yung mga naturang sasakyan na naglalaman or nagsakay o may sakay pa nga ng mga passengers during the landslide. At just to give you a picture, no, talagang continuous yung ginagawang operations ng mga rescuers, ng Philippine National Police, ng Army, and also the employees of the mining company shifting yung ginagawa nila dito parang at least they will not spare any time na masasayang kumbaga. At the same time, no, mas humaba yung oras nila na makapag-operate kanina because of the weather. Luckily, mas maaraw kanina compared yesterday na around 4 o'clock pa lamang ng hapon and stop na nila yung operations because hindi nga rin safe. Although kanina, medyo nagpapahirap din sa kanila yung pagkakaroon pa rin ng last aid.
Okay, hello, Mon?
Looks like there's some difficulties with the signal, and we've been having that since yesterday. But what baffles me actually is the number of missing people.
Yes.
Nahanap na yung mga bus, nasaan yung mga
Nasaan
tao?
yung mga tao?
At bakit, why are they separate? Probably, were they inside the bus? Were they outside the bus? We have yet to get clarity on that.
Yun nga, nakakatakot din, no? Pag nahanap mo yung bus, you're expecting na may tao sa loob, tapos wala. Diba? So parang again, mixed emotions ka na baka naman they're still
Ito, tanungin na natin kay
Mon.
Mon.
Ayan, si Mon.
Oo, Mon, ito, yung tanong namin sa'yo, bakit nga ba nahirapan sila with the search and rescue operations for the 40 plus missing? Kung nahanap na yung bus, ano ba talaga yung challenge dito?
Okay, 2 points. No, una, talagang pahirapan sa kanila yung malalaking tipak ng bato kasi ito yung pinakadumagan sa mga bahay, no, at saka kasama nga itong tumabon doon sa mga area na may kasamang lupa, no? So talagang mabigat eventually yung pinakadumagan sa mga residente na natabunan nga ng buhay doon sa ground zero. Second point, doon sa mga buses and jeepney, ito yung sinasakyan kasi ng mga employees ng mining company. Pauwi na sila, no, dito sa community. It seems like there is a community because ang dami nga mga households doon sa area kung saan natabunan nga nitong landslide. At yung mga sakay noon, may mga ilang kwento or some accounts have been reported na talaga nakatalon pa yung iba while others remain inside. Pero nung kanina, nung hinukay na yung bus, wala nang tao doon sa loob, no? So maaaring na inanod or sabihin natin talaga nasama na sila sa lupa at natabunan na nga rin under dito sa pinakangyaring landslide. Although may sinasabi din, initially yesterday, may mga nakuha pa sila na mga tao mula doon sa areas na malapit yung bus, no, at yung sa kalsada, ito yung mga injured kasama dyan, no, sa 31 injured, yung ibang mga nakaligtas or nakaalis dun sa mismong mga vehicles like the buses and the jeepney.
Yeah, Mon, I understand nung Wednesday afternoon medyo natigil yung kanilang search and rescue operations dahil nga sa weather. But right now, gaano ba kahirap, no, at this time yung ginagawa nilang rescue and retrieval operations? And earlier today, sabi nung official from other PIO, ay hopeful pa rin sila na makakakuha pa sila ng mga survivors. Kasi the last time na nakakuha sila, nakasave sila 11 hours na natabunan sa lupa yung isang nakuha nila. So, what do you make of this, Mon?
Yeah, okay. Yun sa sinasabi na nga na mahirap, no, the operations were limited right now, Angela, because yun nga, hindi sila makapag-operate during nighttime because of the situation na hindi nga rin safe for the rescuers if ever. Kaya naman they are just operating when daytime, oras alas 6 ng umaga hanggang alas 6 ng gabi. Ganun lamang yung time na makakapag-operate sila with the shifting system ng mga rescuers. Doon naman sa part na are they still hopeful? Yes, that's why they are not removing the word rescue with the search, search, rescue and retrieval operations pa rin, kasi they are still hoping and they would not like na alisin yung hope sa mga families na umaasa nga na buhay pa na makukuha at makikita yung kanilang mga kaanak. And that's why yun yung sinasabi nila, kasi baka daw tumagal pa or kayanin pa naman, dahil sinasabi din ng ibang mga rescuers kaya daw tumagal sa ilalim ng lupa, basta may konting hangin, kahit daw abutin daw yan ng mga ilang days, pero with the situation that we've seen kanina when we entered the ground zero, malabo kasi talagang parang malabo makalusot yung hangin doon sa kapal ng putik, kapal ng lupa at saka bato na nagsama-sama na nga with the landslide that happened.
Talk about accountability. We've heard from different sides here. Sabi ng kumpanya ng Apex Mining, sa labas ng mining operations nila yon. Sabi naman ng Davao de Oro Information and Communications Office, yung buong barangay ay mining area yun. And then, meron din sabi, dito sa report mo, ay landslide-prone area ito. Ano ba talaga? Sino ba ang responsable? Were the residents hard-headed? Were they adamant in staying in the area? Just give us some clarity on who is responsible here.
Well, actually, every people is very kailangan responsible sila dito, dito sa nangyaring ito. Una, itong area nagkaroon ng parang community, Gretchen, Dito na sila nagtayo ng kanilang mga bahay kahit hindi dapat. Ang sinasabi ng mga authorities way back 2007 and 2008 after the incidents ng landslide, binawalan ng magtayo ng mga bahay diyan. Unfortunately, hindi daw talaga mapigilan yung mga residente na magtayo ng kanilang mga bahay because ang kanilang source of income, ang kanilang employer ay yung mining company, which is malapit lang din doon sa area. So tama, hindi ito yung pinaka-area kung saan ng mining or minahan, pero malapit ito doon sa mining area. Landslide-prone area, yes, kasi dito rin nangyari halos yung 2007 and 2008 landslides. And then the question now is, bakit papayagan pa rin uli na makapagtayo ng mga bahay or gaano kahigpit ba dapat yung enforcement? Dito sinasabi nga nila na bawal na nga magtayo ng houses or structures dito sa area na kung saan nangyayari nga or landslide prone. Ito yung mga i-review daw ng authorities this time after what happened right now na massive landslide again and again.
Mon, another thing I want to add, connected rin sa tanong ni Gretchen ay yung pagkaka-landslide prone ng area na yan, I understand, medyo valley siya. So obviously, magkakaroon talaga tayo ng landslide, pero minahan din siya. I understand rin na hindi siya open pit mine, so hindi mo actually kita na kalbo yung lupa. Pero have we gotten any idea if the mine operation itself has contributed sa pagiging landslide prone area ng lugar na yan?
That we cannot say right now, Sean, kasi nga ang sinasabi nga rin dito ng mining company itong area kumbaga parang bundok lang, part lang ng bundok yung pinaka naggumuho, pero yung nag-trigger para gumuho yan, hindi pa natin masabi directly if it is connected with the mining company, and in which kasi hindi rin to kino-confirm or sinasabi or no one is actually saying that initially na kung ito ba yung pinaka nagdudulot nga or nagtitrigger na magkaroon ng landslide dun sa area kahit na hindi siya yung pinaka minahan. Although yan yung ilan sa mga tingin ng mga residents or yung mga villagers malapit doon at saka or malayo doon ng konti sa mismong Barangay Masara. Sean.
Oo. Balikan lang natin yung usapin dito sa bus, na kasi nakita nga natin yung isang bus buo pa at yung mga salamin buo din. So paano nawala yung mga sakay noon at posible ba na wala pa lang sakay ito in the first place? Kasi nga hanggang ngayon hindi natin makita kung nasaan yung mga sakay noon.
Actually, may sakay talaga siya, Angela, kasi ang parang kwento noon ng mga residente is ito'y kakagagaling nga amang doon sa mining company, or sa minahan, pauwi na sila doon sa community. So around 7 nangyari itong mismong landslide. Saktong kauuwi lang doon sa area. Nasa kalsada pa, no. Yung bus, hindi lang siguro nakita yung other side, yun ay medyo doon yung mas sira, no, yung side na yun. So doon yung sinasabi, kasi parang umikot-ikot yun eh, yung bus na yan, even yung mga structures and other houses na nadaganan, yung iba doon parang tinangay pa siya, no, from their location. That's why hindi lang siguro kita, pero ang sinasabi ng mga residente, there are passengers inside the buses and the jeepney. Again, some of the passengers nung mga bus nakalabas, no? Nakalabas pa nung nakita at narinig nga nila yung ingay ng parang magkakaroon ng landslide, no? Meron kasi ganung sound. Kanina nandun kami sa ground zero, narinig din namin yung ganung sound na dagundong, if I'm going to describe it. And then at the same time, may ilan naman daw na naalis pa nila dito sa bus who happen to be those injured sa nangyaring ang landslide. And then yung sa jeepney lang tayo hindi sure kasi ito open naman ito, pero ito talaga yung sobrang sirang-sira, no? Hindi lang tayo sure kung may mga sakay pa itong pasahero, pero sa bus they are actually sure na may mga sakay daw that time.
Lahat ng nawawala, yung 40 plus na nabanggit mo, ito ay mga mining workers?
Not all. Kasi doon sa area, karamihan nga doon ay mga households na natabunan. At yung isang nakausap natin, actually na isang, well, technically baka survivor siya may tuturing, pero malayo siya sa family niya that time. Yung buong pamilya niya kasamang natabunan doon. His wife and his 3 children were included doon sa natabunan na area. So hindi lang ito mga workers sa minahan, kundi yung mga nandun lang sa bahay. And let's remember, no, kapag sa probinsya, kapag mga 7 o'clock ng gabi, marami dyan nasa bahay na lamang nila. That's why ito yung mga talagang naapektuhan at talagang caught unguarded doon time na nagkaroon ng landslide.
So as of now, it's been a day and a half, almost 2 days since that happened, 48 hours. Ano yung latest nating numbers nung dead, missing at nawawala and injured?
Ngayon, from 7 yesterday, 10 na, no? 10 na yung reported death, no? Or dead. At the same time, 31 pa rin yung injured, hindi na dagdagan. Pero yung missing, kahapon, maalala nyo, 48 lamang or 46 to 40.
Nako.
That was the critical number
I
right
know.
there, the number
Okay,
of
so
missing.
I think what Mon was trying to say is dumami yung mga nawawala. We'll try to get Mon.
Ayan.
Mon, are you still there?
Mon, can you hear us?
Sorry, naputo. Naging choppy ka nung sasabihin mo kung ilan na yung
numbers.
inakyat nung number
Ilan
ng
yung
missing.
Okay, so again, the numbers now, currently, 10 yung dead, 31 pa rin yung injured, and then 49 yung missing. If you're going to compare it yesterday, 7 yung dead, 31 injured, and then 46 to 48. Bakit dumami pa yung missing? Pero dumami rin naman yung dead, no? Baka nagtataka kayo. Yung missing kasi, ito yung mga nire-report ng mga kamag-anak nila na nawawala pa rin hanggang ngayon, no? And then, yung mga natatagpuan naman ng mga bangkay, hindi nagmamatch doon sa mga identities ng mga missing. Kaya naman kahit dumadagdag yung bilang ng mga dead, hindi naman nababawasan at nadadagdagan pa nga yung missing dahil sa mga nire-report ng mga residente doon sa lugar. So ang pinaka-worry dito, baka hindi lang 49 ang missing dahil nga sa mga nadadagdag na bilang ng mga namamatay na nahuhukay mula sa nangyaring landslide.
Do hope that number does not increase. Please do stay safe. It's good that we're seeing clear weather behind you. But as you mentioned, kanina may dagundong pa. So please do stay in a safe area. And we hope for the safety as well of our rescue personnel. Thank you very much. That was News 5's Mon Gualvez. On to other news. After the latest cybercrime attempt targeting Philippine government agencies, President Bongbong Marcos has approved the National Cybersecurity Plan for 2024 to 2028. DICT Secretary Ivan John Uy said the master plan provides policy direction and operational guidelines on building up cybersecurity capacities among agencies and institutions. Uy adds that there will be an improved coordination mechanism with other countries in tracing and monitoring cyber threats.
let's say, an attack happens in a bank in another country, then we have information exchange programs through our computer emergency response teams that can share those information so that we can proactively advise our banks here that, okay, there has recently been an attack on this particular bank in this particular country, and this was the mode of attack, this was the payload, this was the vector that was used in the attack. And so our banks would be advised ahead of time and prepare for it.
Well, here's a little plot twist. After denying links to the recent cyber attack on government websites, China is reportedly trying to help to investigate this matter. Let's get some more details from Brian Basa. Brian, did we hear it right? China really genuinely offering to help the Philippines?
Sean, China has reached out to the Philippines to help go after the perpetrators behind the cyber attacks earlier flagged by the DICT. Beijing has since denied having a hand in these cybercrime attempts after the activities were traced to mainland China, and it looks like they want to clear their name.
So they are willing to help. They have mentioned that if we can share with them kung ano yung nangyari para mahanap daw nila kung saan at sino yung gumawa nun.
When asked if he believes the hacking had anything to do with the maritime tensions between the Philippines and China, Secretary Uy says they don't want to jump into conclusions, although they're looking at all angles.
Well, that's not for us to come out with that conclusion yet, no? It's too early, but anything is possible. So we just need to, I think, currently take it at face value and see how things develop.
With all the cybersecurity threats the country faced in the past year alone, it's safe to say that this national cybersecurity plan is a step in the right direction that would benefit everyone in this digital age. Back to you.
Step in the right direction indeed. Thank you so much for that, Brian Basa.
Well, up next, what exactly is our basic education doing wrong and how can we boost our rankings in global assessments? We'll ask Philippine Business for Education Executive Director Dianne Fajardo when the big story returns. Stay with us.
Hello. Can you hear me po?
Count ka nga, ma'am. Welcome back. You're still watching The Big Story here on One News.
The government continues to find solutions to the dwindling quality of education in the Philippines. In a recent Senate hearing, Committee on Basic Education Chairman Win Gatchalian said results of the latest program for International Student Assessment, or PISA, should be used as basis. Let's look back at the results of that assessment. The latest PISA report was that of 2022 and was just released last year. It shows that the Philippines is among nations with the lowest proficiency in reading, mathematics, and science for young learners. The country ranked 77th out of 81 countries globally in the student assessment conducted by the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development for 15-year-old learners. The results showed that the Philippines scored less than the OECD average in mathematics, reading, and science. Average 2022 results were about the same as in 2018 in these subject areas. It was also revealed in the recent Senate hearing that a total of 21 schools participated in the PISA, though it was not clear how many of these were public and how many were private. What we do know is only 6 of these participating schools scored above the minimum proficiency level of PISA, and only one of them is a public school. That is the Benigno S. Aquino High School in Makati. The 5 others that also got a passing mark were from private schools.
And the age-old question is, what should we have done or what should we do to increase the proficiency level of Filipino students? We'll be asking that question tonight to Dianne Fajardo. She is the Executive Director of the Philippine Business for Education, or PBBM. Dianne, hi, good evening and welcome back.
Hello, good evening. Thank you for having us.
Right, Dianne, again, this is not the first time even we have all spoken about this issue. The PISA results, we've already known that. I think my first question to you will be, is reducing K-12 to K-10 the first step heading into the right direction, since focus on math, reading, and science is the focus of K-10?
Actually, the Department of Education is not reducing K-12 to K-10. They're just done reviewing the K-10 curriculum. So they're pilot testing it. But now they're still reviewing the 11 to 12 curriculum. So they're not reducing it. But with they're not reducing in terms of grade levels. But the K-10 curriculum, they said that subjects are reduced. But of course, it doesn't mean that teachers and students students will learn better if the subjects are reduced. We also have teacher quality and other issues that affects student outcomes.
Okay, let's take a look at these problems. The problem that is being focused on here is on proficiency when it comes to using computers, computer literacy, but we also have some problems on literacy itself, reading, writing. Ano ba dito yung natin? Dapat natin unahin. Is one a cause of the other? Are these two separate problems? How do we absorb the new data that we have?
So first, we should focus on foundational skills because they can't answer questions if they don't know how to read, right, diba? And also numeracy. Because the questions in PISA are problem solving. So the reason why they're also low in math is because they can't understand the problems. That's why they can't solve for it. So let's focus on foundational skills at the early age, especially for K-3. And then for the next subjects, we can further enrich our students' learning by a good mix of teaching materials, proper loading of teachers, and proper support from the local governments, in terms of materials and other wraparound support.
Dianne, sorry, let me just interject, Angela, because malnutrition, I think we have spoken about this before.
Yeah.
So before pa pumasok sa kinder yung bata, parang dehado na siya. It has been pointed out that the first 1,000 days, 1,000 days of an infant is really crucial. Do you think this plays a part? And if so, how big of a part is it? Because if we can't address that, preschool part of human life and development, then will it not follow na parang wala na rin talagang point, na baguhin natin yung curriculum?
Yeah, it's really a big issue since for 2 to 3 decades, ano pa rin eh, 1 out of 3. 1 out of 3 children are stunted. So, once stunted, ibig sabihin chronic yung malnutrition. So, matagal na silang malnourished. So, more than 3-4 years. So, nakakaapekto talaga sa performance nila. And itong mga batang to na tinest ng PISA, sila yung mga batang naapektuhan din ng malnutrition in the past decades.
I want to go back dun sa sinabi mo kanina about the quality of teachers. Kasi ang sabi nga nila, there are 2 reasons talaga. Main reasons why Filipino students are lagging behind when it comes to education industry natin or education sector. One is resources. Number 2 is the quality of teachers. No? Sinasabi nila, are the teachers teaching, di ba, the way lessons are taught? So what's your, tapos yung mga, when it comes to resources naman, yung mga classrooms, infrastructures, kulang pa rin. At this point in time, may mga schools pa rin na naghihiraman pa rin ng mga books yung mga estudyante. So what do you make of this po?
Yeah, so first for the teachers, so you can't teach what you don't know or you can't give what you don't have. So we need to really make sure that our teachers are deloaded and at the same time, they're trained to teach higher order thinking skills. Ito yung communication skills, critical thinking, collaboration, grit, growth mindset, and ito yung mga kailangan na talaga at this day and age. Balik lang doon ako sa deloading. DepEd merong plano to hire 5,000 administrative assistants, but compared to the number of schools and the number of teachers, kulang na kulang. So they can't teach if they don't have the time and bandwidth and headspace to really make a good lesson plan, 'di ba, to assess students. So mahirap talaga for our teachers. So hindi nila kasalanan, biktima lang din sila nung sistema.
Dianne, realistically speaking, no, yung latest PISA results from 2022 yan, let's say, theoretically, no, makuha ng education sector, lahat ng kailangan nila, lahat ng teachers, lahat ng students, lahat ng infra, lahat ng gamit, libro. How long will it take for us to catch up given na kumpleto, no, or ideal yung sitwasyon moving forward? How far is our delay?
Well, it takes one cycle, di ba, of the curriculum. So it may happen that in the next, for example, ideally in the next PISA, which is next year, next 3 years, we get all those resources. Hindi pa rin, I don't think that that our scores will really improve much. Maybe there will be incremental improvements, but not that big kasi it will take around even 10-30 years for education reforms to take place.
Let's take a look.
So matagal,
let's take a look
siya.
at the disparity between private and public schools. What do we see there? Bakit bumabagsak yung mga public schools natin?
Yeah, actually, we can't say definitively that it's just the public schools because we have yet to see the data from DepEd, the disaggregation, because nationwide, around 188 schools participated. And then in Metro Manila, there are 21 schools. So we still need to see the data, how many are public schools, how many are private schools. So second, there are other factors affecting the performance of the students, like socioeconomic class, school, and local leadership, presence of bullying, parental involvement, etc. So yun, students, and at the same time, students from the private schools are likely to come from families with a higher socioeconomic background. But in the PISA result, no, in math, disadvantaged students got 36 points more than the disadvantaged students. So while we have that 36% point difference, globally, 96% yung average. So, hindi masyadong mataas. So, ibig sabihin, it doesn't matter if you're rich or poor, but because of the problems of our education system, mababa yung average ng mga Pilipino.
Tama ka dyan, no, Diane. Yun nga talaga naman yung nakikita rin natin sa data. 1 public school out of 21 participated. 5 private schools lang din yung pumasa. So, I guess, ang haba pa nitong usapan. We can take this 24 hours. Di natin matatapos. But for now, we're gonna have to leave it there muna. Wala na tayong oras. But thank you so much for joining us tonight. Dianne Fajardo, Deputy Executive Director of the Philippine Business for Education. All right, we're gonna pause for a quick break. Right after that, most couples try to assess their love compatibility to make sure that they're the perfect fit for each other. But have you ever wondered if you and your partner are also financially compatible? We'll talk more about that with finance guru Vince Rapisura when the big story returns. Stay tuned. Welcome back. You're still watching The Big Story here on One News.
Here's a rather fun topic or
Fun nga.
awkward for
Fun
all
nga.
of our viewers.
Baka may mag-away.
Saktong-sakto para sa Valentine's Day. Well, research indicates that couples with comparable spending patterns, savings objectives, and perspectives on finances tend to experience greater success in maintaining a long-lasting relationship. And to help us understand that more, we have with us live via Zoom Vince Rapisura, financial guru and president of Social Enterprise Development Partnerships Incorporated. Professor ko si Vince noon sa Ateneo. Hindi ko maalala, parang sa social enterprise, tama ba?
Gretchen, John.
Oo, magandang gabi sa'yo. Unang-una siguro, kaya nababanggit itong napaka-importanting topic dahil maaaring maging source yan ng breakup ng engagement.
If you ask my
Ganun,
mother,
diba?
yan ang magiging number 1 source.
Oo.
Pag tinanong mo mami ko yan, sabihin niya sa'yo, naku, huwag yung pag-aawayin yung pera.
Hindi,
Nakakahiya ka.
Vince, can you explain to us first what we just read, that if you have comparable spending patterns, that you have a bigger chance? Do you have a bigger chance of staying together in your marriage?
Well, kung base yan dun sa sa research, pero based on what I see, I think mayroong sense of insight dyan, no? Kasi usually lesser yung power dynamics and interplay kapag halos magkapareho yung economic status ng both partners. So doon talaga nagkakaroon ng tension kapag mayroon tayong medyo significant disparity between the economic power of both partners. Kaya early in the relationship pa lang, dapat talaga dinidisclose na natin kung ano yung mga financial situations natin. So we do this slowly. Di ba nga, pag tayo nagde-date pa lang, meron ng ano yan economic dynamics yan. Kasi sino magbabayad nung restaurant bill, for example. Diba? So, as you move along in the relationship, dapat unti-unti nyo yung pinapalalim. Tapos ako, ang suggestion ko talaga, bago ka pa mag-propose ng engagement, tanong mo muna kung okay ba tayo sa prenup o hindi.
Dapat, no, actually, talagang nako, headline ngayon ng prenup, no, Vince? Pero, I understand. Of course, kung medyo pareho kayo ng spending patterns, obviously, di ba? Di less talaga yung magiging banggaan ninyo pagdating dyan. Ngayon, the thing is, Vince, in today's world, ang dami na nag-shift. We see housebands now, na dati, laging mommy lang yung nasa bahay. What happens then kung single person lang or one person lang yung nag-earn? Kung single income family kayo, how do you like work this out?
Tapos
diba,
babae pa yung nag-earn.
Oo.
Paano yun?
Actually, if we take on these roles, maganda talaga na mapag-usapan siya, open communication, no? And we have to be parang to accept the reality na ang housework, although ano to, no, it's a domestic, it is actually a very legit kind of work. Nako, subukan nyo kayo yung mag-alaga. Your women, no? Parang ang relegation parati pag-aalaga ng mga bata. Pero ako, pinapatry ako pag-alagain ng mga bata. Hindi ko kaya, mahirap. So, serious na trabaho yon. So, what I usually advise for couples na yung isa earning at yung isa ay hindi earning, for example, the earning person earns 50,000 pesos, for example. I-divide yan equally dapat. So, i-assign yung 25,000 dun sa partner A and then 25,000 doon sa partner B. And then, ang gagawin ay pag-uusapan nila ano ngayon yung kanilang common financial responsibilities and obligations, no, short-term and long-term. So, for example, na-identify nila na, 40,000 pesos pala yan every month. So, both sides will now give 20,000 pesos each. Tapos yung matitira na 5,000 will serve as parang financial independence ng bawat partner. Ano? Kasi maganda that in a relationship, mayroong concept ng I, you, at saka we. So napapreserve yun. No? Hindi pwedeng we na lang parati or tayo na lang ng tayo. Kasi dapat napapreserve pa rin natin ang ating identity both financially and even in our personhood.
Totoo yan, sir. Kasi kami, nung asawa ko pa nag-uusapan na, meron kaming joint, pero meron din kaming sarili-sarili namin. And, di ba, we're allowed to spend it the way we want to spend it too. But, ang tanong dito, kasi I've heard a lot of stories na rin na talagang pag-usapin ng pera sa mag-couple, di ba, mag-asawa, medyo awkward pa rin, no? Paano ba? Paano ba i-open yung discussion na yun sa kayong mag-partner na pag-usapan natin yung financial status natin?
And how transparent can you get?
Oo. Kasi may mga... Go ahead.
Choice ninyong dalawa yan, ano? Kasi it also depends on your level of trust. Pero, ang maganda pa rin dyan talaga ay mag-set aside kayo ng time. So talagang pag-usapan niyo na, at this time, itong oras na to, pag-uusapan natin yan. And ilalabas natin lahat yung mga issues and concerns natin. And ang dapat na goal natin dyan is to work out mga kinks or mga challenges. And in fact, itong mga ganitong pagkakataon, these are actually opportunities for the couple to deepen their relationship, na pagtibayan pa ang kanilang relationship. Kasi doon naman sa research na ginawa namin, pag tinanong namin, yung pinakadahilan ng pag-aaway ng mag-partner, mauwi man ito sa paghihiwalay o hindi. And 60% of our respondents said it's because of money. Yung pangangaliwa ay 20% lang. Kaya mahalagang bahagi talaga ito ng relationship.
Dapat 60% money, 20%
basta kakain. Pero teka, para sa mga singles, anong maipapayo mo? Para sa akin, kumare, gusto ko magtagal. Siyempre, gusto ko magtagal. Sa aking pakakasalan, I want, less arguments. Should I marry someone of similar financial capability or somebody more successful? What would you have to say to that?
Nako, Gretchen, hindi talaga natin makokontrol ang ating puso. Pag tumibok yan, kahit sino pa yan.
Sino ka pa?
Hindi, pero praktikalan tayo, di ba? Parang ako, ngayon okay kami, syempre. Pero pag kinasal na, the goggles are off, and
Right.
the reality set in when the, rubber hits the road. Dapat nga ba, tama ba, yung sinasabi nila, dapat pakasalan mo, mas successful sa'yo para hindi na-threaten yung ego ng lalaki. I mean, paano yun?
Oo. I think dapat lundagin natin yung pagtingin sa relationship na ito ay economic power play lang parati kasi marami pang aspeto yan. Although nire-recognize talaga natin na importante yung pera, no? So kung mas tingin mo sasaya ka sa isang tao na mas successful kaysa sa iyo, choice mo yan. Pero at the end of the day, ang gagawin nyo pa rin talaga ay kung kayo ay magkakasundo sa mga priorities ninyo sa buhay at sa mga financial values ninyo. At yun yung mas mahalaga.
Values.
It's to turn na to make a decision, no, na to stay together and grow together in the relationship, financial or otherwise.
Basta ako masipag.
Self-proclaimed. Pero Vince, no,
Dinideclare yung,
yung
yung monthly income sa'yo.
how important is transparency, no? Is it so important, Vince, na before tayo mag-asawa, before we tie the knot, dapat ba alam ko exactly how much my partner is making? Let's say both of us are working and both of us are earning. Is it really so important kung pwede naman nating saraduhin? No? Mag-prenup na lang tayo bago tayo magkasal.
Oo. Sa ibang mga tao kasi mayroon talagang importance na may space ako na ako lang yung nakakaalam. No? Sa iba naman, gusto talaga nila ay full disclosure. Pero whatever your choice is, ang guideline talaga na gagawin natin dyan ay, again, no, working out towards a common goal. So maganda, actually, before you get married, no, mag-financial disclosure muna kayo ng prospective partner mo. Ang mga importanteng aalamin mo dyan, may utang ba siya? Kasi, naku, utang, malaking problema yan kung meron, kung may utang, bad utang ba yan or good utang? Tapos titignan din natin yung mga financial obligations and commitments niya, current or in the future. Kasi baka yung aasawahin mo ay nakapangako sa mga magulang niya na siya yung mag-aalaga sa kanila or magpapaaral ng mga kapatid niya, dapat ready ka na natanggapin yon, no? At dapat ready rin na i-disclose yon. Kasi financial infidelity ay mahirap-hirap yan. Gaya nga ng research natin, di ba? Mas napag-aawayan ang pera kaysa sa pangangaliwa.
Bago yun
Financial
financial infidelity.
Kasi maraming ganun
Oo, nililihi
Mamaya may
nila.
bisyo ka or something, tapos di mo sinasabi, di ba? Hindi naman laging ibang babae lang.
Pero ano nga ba
Yan,
yung
ibang lalaki.
indicators? What should we watch out for to really know the values, financial values of a possible partner?
Yeah. So to be financially compatible, hindi naman kinakailangan na tayo ay pareho, no? Na pareho ng economic level o pareho ng gusto or ng mga needs and wants natin, ano? But I think what makes it more exciting ay kunwari opposite kayo, pero you make it a point to meet halfway and compromise, and you appreciate that that dynamics, no? And you take that as an opportunity for your relationship to get more rooted and to grow, no? So yun yung sa akin na tinitignan ko diyan, no? Ang relationship talaga, hindi tayo humahanap ng tugma sa yaman natin, pero humahanap tayo nung tugma sa financial values at saka sa priorities natin sa ating mga life goals.
Vince, do you give seminars, no? Sakaling may nanonood ngayon, mag-Valentine's pa naman next week.
Oo nga.
But sakali lang may nanonood ngayon na nagkaka-encounter ng problems in the relationship that is monetary as a root. Yung root cause niya ay monetary. May libro ka ba? Meron ka bang seminar na pwedeng enrollan? Parang counseling, ganon?
Oo. Actually, every month meron kaming webinar. This coming Saturday, 8 o'clock to 10 p.m. ang webinar natin is about fortifying and building your investment portfolio. So if you want to know more about this, pumunta lang sila sa vincerapisura.com/webinars. So nandun na lahat yung ating schedule for the whole year.
I mean, we've been talking about literacy this whole episode of the show. How is the financial literacy of Filipinos? I know that's also a sore point But in your going around the Philippines, what have you discovered and how can we also improve on that?
Yeah. So in terms of financial literacy, mababa talaga, no? Doon sa there was a study that we replicate na ginawa ng Standard and Poor's, no? And when we usually do this, ay same pa rin yung lumalabas. So they did it in 2015, 25% of Filipinos are financially literate. At pag inuulit namin ito when we do our research, nandyan pa rin siya, no? About 25 to 30% lang yung financially literate. Pero ako, ang na-observe ko rin ay Filipinos are marunong naman tayong mag-save at mag-invest. Ang kulang lang talaga ay economic opportunities and employment opportunities at yung challenge ng pagtaas ng presyo ng mga bilihin. So, yung literacy is one point, pero another point also is the environment, the enabling environment for people to be economically empowered.
Talaga naman, napakahirap ng realidad natin.
Kasi inaral din namin yan sa microfinance na magaling magbayad ng utang yung mga maliliit na naglo-loan.
Tsaka magaling tayo mag-cash flow manage, di ba? Yung
mag-budget.
panakip,
Pero
ganyan.
point yun, opportunity ang kulang.
Opportunities, economic opportunities.
Totoo naman.
That is
Hirap
also
talaga.
brought out by illiteracy.
Oo.
Diba? Pagka hindi mo naintindihan, hindi ka marunong mag-invest.
Parang
Hindi mo-
marami
hindi ka
eh.
marunong
May
mag-
corruption, may
etc.
ganito,
Bukod sa
charter
ganito.
change.
Totoo, kasama na.
Tanong ko lang, mabilis
ugat.
lang kay Prof, kasi since Valentine's is just around the corner, gaano ba laki dapat yung sinispend or ginagastos ng couple when it comes to occasions like this?
Okay. So sa akin itong mga paggastos na ito ay these are wants kasi hindi siya need, no? At kung want, the sky is the limit as long as you use your passive income, meaning you use income from your investments, no, either from rent, dividends, capital gains, royalties, or pension, yung pinanggagalingan niya, hindi sa active income. Kaya kung magde-date ka at ito ay luxurious, no, hindi siya need, ay dapat mag-create ka muna ng investment portfolio that will create the passive income bago ko sasabihin na
invest
yan
muna.
dapat yung
Invest muna bago maging sweet.
Yan nga yung sinasabi ni Prof,
lover.
diba, na dapat pareho kayo compatible kayo. Kasi kung pareho kayo, wag na sayang pera yung Valentine's ang traffic.
O kaya wala
mahal
pa akong love life eh. Kasi invest muna, di ba? Joke lang. Sinisi pa.
Gretchen, advice lang, no? Galing sa akin. Minsan invest lang sa sarili.
Invest sa
mo
sarili.
naman.
Self-care.
Invest ka sa property.
Alright, wala na tayong oras tonight. Pero thank you so much, no, Professor Vince Rapisura, Financial Guru and President of Social Enterprise Development Partnerships Incorporated, for sharing some tips and insights with us tonight. Okay, bago tayo mag-goodbye, eto good news, pero good news lang ito para sa mga jet setters na dessert lovers din. Our big picture tonight is Philippine Airlines' latest in-flight dining offer, halo-halo. Well, that's right. Savor that thought for a moment because, pretend you're having this dessert in the sky. Kasi pang business class passengers lang po ito, traveling to the United States and Canada.
Okay yan, pampatanggal ng init ng ulo.
At
For everyone else, pandesal.
yes,
corned
kakainin
beef.
natin yan madalas kasi malapit na tag-init.
Okay, ganda. Okay yan. Kasi
Pwede.
binabandera natin syempre yung delicacies
Of
natin.
course, Pinoy.
Tsaka ang sarap, di ba? Na parang ang
Just
refreshing na
don't mess it up. It's kind of hard to eat, right?
Oo.
Hindi, okay lang may tablecloth naman sa business class. So kahit matapon yun, hindi siya mahuhulog sa
Ang
damit.
tanong, masarap kaya yung halo-halo?
Ayun ang tanong.
Anong klase?
Pa-experience.
Iba-iba kasi yung
Sana may experience.
Di ba iba-iba yung version ngayon ng halo-halo?
Okay, so habang mananaginip kami ng business class flights from PAL to the US and Canada with free halo-halo, that's it for the show on this Thursday night.
We are One News, all sides, all the time.
Thank you and good night.